Hello friends, my name is Dr. Jisha Singh and in this video I'm going to discuss about performance of contract and contingent contracts. Well, performance is possible by four methods. The first is actual performance. Relevant section is section 37 to 55. Performance in the form of frustration of contract. Relevant section is 56 to 61. Performance by agreement. Relevant section is 62 to 67. Next is performance in the form of breach of contract. Relevant section is 73 to 74. Well, as far as explanation is concerned, from second possibility, as soon as the contract is frustrated, no damages needs to be paid, and the contract gets frustrated. The next is party can dispense with the agreement, make changes in the terms and conditions with the new agreement. Now, next is party does not actually perform the contract. It is deemed to be performed provided parties concerned must pay the damages. Now, what is the test for deciding frustration of contract? Frustration means change in the circumstances so fundamental or to be regarded by law both as striking at the root of the contract and as entirely beyond what was in the contemplation of the parties at the time of entering into contract or agreement. So, fundamental change in circumstances which hits the root of the contract and there is no contemplation. Now, what are the specific grounds for frustration of contract? Well, court has laid down certain guidelines. First is death or incapacity of a person, where performance of an agreement is required to be made by a particular individual in his personal capacity, and the individual dies or becomes incapable of performance or is not otherwise available for the performance. It is always a ground for frustration of contract. Now, the only point that needs to be kept in mind is agreement must be of a nature which requires personal performance of an individual. Now, for example, personal performance, A agrees to marry, B frustration is when the party is missing or it is dead or he or she is dead or there is incapacity. For example, union of particular college enter into a contract with the singer to perform on the date of annual function, but on the date of performance, suppose the singer gets sick or imprisoned, so that leads to frustration. The next is destruction of the subject matter of the contract. If the object on the thing on which performance of the agreement is based is destroyed before actual performance, this is always a ground for frustration. For example, A agrees to exhibit the film of B from 20th October onwards at this cinema hall. The cinema hall before 20th destroyed. It is set in fire. Actual contract has been frustrated. It is implied condition. It can be performed provided building is available. Next is A agrees to purchase car of B. Before actual sale, the car gets damaged in accident. Contract frustrated. The next is possibility is legislative or government administrative intervention. If after entering into agreement contract because of change in law or because of some administrative action of a permanent nature, if such a case, the contract is always frustrated. However, if the change in law or the administrative action of a temporary nature, it may or may not amount to frustration. It depends on the facts of the case. And for example, A agrees to sell a piece of land to B. Agreement is entered into on 10th October, sale to be completed on 30th October. In between, land is acquired by government permanently. Contract is said to be frustrated. But where a land is acquired for temporary purpose, it may or may not amount to frustration. It depends upon the facts of the case. The next is war or warlike conditions. This is always a ground for frustration provided physical performance is impossible. In other words, if in spite of war or warlike conditions, performance is physically possible but unprofitable or dilatory or inconvenient, it shall not be a ground for frustration of contract. Now, for example, A and B enter into commercial agreement performed for 2 years between two countries, India and Pakistan, and the two nations are at war, cannot enter into commercial agreement. And where there is actual war or warlike conditions, performance impossible only in the area of war, because law does not expect to risk his or her own life and perform the contract. Thus, the contract stands frustrated. So, the performance is physically impossible. Internal disturbances may or may not amount to frustration. Next is any change in the circumstances of fundamental nature. Next is doctrine of frustration does not apply to completed contracts. Now we move on to agreement to sell and not actual sale in UK. In United Kingdom, the position is different. Such agreement does not amount to frustration of contract. In United Kingdom, There are two types of ownership regarding the sale of land, immovable property, which is equitable ownership and actual ownership. In UK, doctrine of frustration is not applicable in the sale and purchase of land, since the purchaser becomes the owner of the land immediately the sale deed is executed. As soon as the parties enter into an agreement to sale and purchase by virtue of the equitable ownership, since paperwork may not be done. If suppose before the paperwork is completed, the seller dies, now there is no scope of frustration and the property goes to the purchaser and not to the legal heirs of the seller. In UK, the contract is assumed to be performed, yet actual ownership is yet still to be transferred. Example, A sells the land to B before actual ownership. A sells it to C. Such an act is unlawful and A is liable to pay damages to B for the breach of contract, and not only B, now only B can sell it to C and nobody else. But in India, there is no concept of equitable ownership. There is just one ownership, and that is actual ownership. The purchaser becomes the owner only when actual ownership is transferred to him by the seller till actually sold. In India, Section 54 of the Transfer of Property Act expressly provides agreement to sell confers no right to the purchaser before actual treats actual now. Total consideration is 70,000. Advance is rupees 10,000. A is the purchaser, B is the seller. Entered into agreement on 15th October. Executed the agreement 30th October. In UK, once there is an agreement to sell, the purchaser is the owner by virtue of the equitable ownership. No one can defeat his ownership. Legal ownership can be transferred though through execution of the sale deed. Example, before legal execution, B dies, land will go to A and not his legal heirs. And if land is sold to B in between 15th to 30th October, contract stands completed, no question of frustration. Now, once the essential condition of a frustration are fulfilled, the contract becomes void and automatically and does not depend on the choice or desire of the parties. Now we move on to contingent contracts, section 31, 32, 33 of the Act dealing with what is known as contingent contracts. For example, A agrees to pay B an amount of rupees 5,000 provided B marries C. Performance of the contract depends on the future contingencies and both are Hindus, C and D, and C marries D. Can the condition of marrying B and C be fulfilled now? No. And the contract becomes void. If the marriage impossible, contract void. What are the cause which rendered the contract void? The terms and conditions of the contract itself. Frustration takes place by virtue of the contract and not by virtue outside probabilities. A contract which is required to be performed on the happening of or non-happening of the future uncertain event is known as contingent contract. When contract is required to be performed and it is rendered void, section 31 and 32. Section 32 is about positive future happening, that is positive event. Section 33 is about future non-happening, that is a negative event. When a contract is required to be performed on the happening of an uncertain event, the contract is said to be performed only when the event happens, that is when the condition is fulfilled. And where the happening event becomes impossible, the contract becomes void. Section 33, when a contract is required to be performed on the non-happening of an uncertain future event, such a contract has to be performed if the happening of that event becomes impossible, when happening becomes negative is fulfilled. For example, A agrees to pay to B rupees 500 provided India does not win the toss for the third test match between India and Australia. For example, A will pay rupees 500 to B provided B does not marry C. B marries D. Negative has happened. So, section 56, agreement to do impossible act, contract to do or afterwards becoming impossible or unlawful, does not apply to contingent contracts. They are outside the scope of doctrine of frustration of contract. However, in UK there are contracts. These contracts are part and parcel of the frustration of contract. The reason for the distinction is obvious. The two being treated differently by the statute. Doctrine of frustration does not apply to completed contracts because once contract is completed, no question of impossibility of performance. Doctrine of frustration does not apply to agreement to sell in India. doctrine of frustration does apply in UK. With this, I conclude the lecture. In the next lecture, I will be discussing the cases on frustration of contract or contingent contracts. Thank you.